Sync.
That works. Oh my god.
All right, what are we calling this? The walk nature.
The walk to remember. Wait, that's already copywritten.
The walk in the park.
I think that's already copywritten.
Well,
Anyway.
if you have a suggestion, please leave it in the comments below.
What about, I got it, Jurassic Park.
What about love? Jurassic Park. Ooh, they're gonna start off like this.
Hello.
Hello and welcome to
Welcome to the podcast.
We're walking through trees, and that's what we do in this podcast. We talk and we walk through trees.
Is this like ASMR?
Yes, this is
Okay.
we get to talk like this the entire time.
Okay.
It helps with the podcast vibe. You know, you have to have this podcast vibe where you're like really, really close to the mic, and you have to talk like this and whisper.
So we have to talk
Sometimes you can blow on the mic like this. I'm sorry.
Oh my god, coming from a theater person that used microphones, that is annoying as shit.
And after editing videos for 3 years,
Yes.
now I know how annoying that is. So, actually it was 4 years, because I started YouTube in 2013 on a second channel, which was kind of awful. Made 6 videos on Minecraft and then deleted it completely.
Oh.
So that was great. And then I made the second channel. Originally I was one Pixfly in 116.
Yeah, and then you blew up your thing in a Minecraft video, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then it was very laggy too. Like when I made that video, like I wanted to make it smooth explosions, and when I finally blew up, it didn't completely blow up all the way. It didn't render in, so I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I have to fix this. So I have to I moved forward. I'm like, oh, there we go. Now it's better.
Oy vey.
Oy vey.
Okay. So, welcome to the podcast. I don't really know where this beginning non sequitur went.
Yeah,
but
it's somewhat of a beginning to the podcast. We're not going to really record our voice for much long. I guess we'll kind of just tell you what we're using. We're using our headphones from Apple.
we're not sponsored.
It's a completely sponsored video by Apple. Just the headphones. This is the new headphones, so this is the old headphones.
Because we're not part of that wireless
Old
crowd.
but new, because they have that little curve into the ear.
Yeah.
Like this part, like
It's very ergonomically designed.
Yes, this is the
Look that up, kids.
ergonomicery.
Okay.
You spell it by eager.
Spell it?
Spell eager and then nomic. There you go.
Not. Okay. We'll go with that.
Okay, I figured we would talk about the Adirondack adventure that we went on.
Yeah.
Because people saw videos of it, and you saw parts of what we were doing, but I guess you didn't have the full experience. Like, oh, what I thought about it. Like, what was any opinions on it?
Yeah.
Like, what was good, what was bad about it, favorite parts, stuff like that.
Yeah. So this is kind of like the
You're going first?
Sure.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, but like to kind of put it in reference, this is kind of like what you did at the end of your Chestnut Ridge video, right? Where like we were sitting in the spot coffee and you're just like,
Yeah, that's
rate
right.
this, blah blah blah.
Yeah, like reflection of
Yeah.
it. 'Cause
Nice little reflection.
except the Chestnut Ridge experience was a slippery slope of ice and frozenness where you slid into a man's crotch. Yes, I have that
And
now
a
on
creek.
recording.
A man's crotch and a creek.
And a creek.
I would say that's a pretty crazy
While I
Tuesday
was
night.
doing a panoramic of the sun,
Yeah, you did.
and then all of a sudden I hear Justin go, well, you're not going to help me? And I'm like, oh, God.
And it was at that moment I realized that you are an asshole. But you're my
And that,
asshole.
my friends, is
Wait,
where the
don't-
bickering started.
Too true. But no, so the Adirondack.
So let's talk about like getting into the Adirondacks. Like,
Oh my.
I think the coolest part was that there were actually like huge trees. Like you saw everything start to form. Like we live in a very plain area where the only thing, the closest is some skiing mountains like in Ellicottville. Like,
Yeah, like an hour south.
like an hour. So being in a plains typed area, watching those hills start to form into mountains was really cool.
Yeah, and then like, just once you got off of the throughway and it's just like, just started with the dense forest started, and just like, you knew that it was just like a different place, and then once the service went out for our phones, that was when.
Yeah, I think honestly I was surprised how much service we got.
Yeah.
When we landed finally, when we
landed?
airplane.
Meow.
We're coming in for a landing, folks.
Oh, this is the service road.
Please fasten your seatbelts. We're coming in for a landing.
No, but when we finally got to our location and we got to the area where our tent was, like where we were gonna stay, we had like LTE with like 3 bars. I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
We don't know where that came from.
I thought it was gonna be like dead. There was like nothing.
Yeah. Which like I would have been perfectly fine if it was just fully dead, but it was nice to have that little connection to the outside world if we needed it.
I'm gonna apologize ahead of time for the wind. Yeah, this is why we're wearing microphones.
We're in a tornado.
We're in a very windy area. No, I'm just kidding. But
Attention passengers, we are now entering a very windy area. Please fasten your
we're experiencing
seatbelts.
some turbulence here. Not from the vehicle, but just the wind in the microphone.
Apparently we still are flying at an altitude of 35,000
Speaking of
feet.
plains area, we just emerged from a plains area, and now we're just like walking, and it's like, oh, there's so many spots where wind can just hit us. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, this is great.
Welcome to an open park.
But back to the topic. See, whenever I watch podcasts, I've always seen people kind of like venture off into different topics. Like, oh, we're talking about this, and all of a sudden they're just talking about their trip last summer. Like, oh,
Yeah. Well, like, that's honestly the thing that I love about the podcast that I do watch. Is just like, you start off with a general topic, and then it literally goes wherever.
yeah,
But you still get to the topic every once in a while.
exactly.
But like that's what makes it fun. That's what just makes it a conversation instead of like listening to someone drone.
Drone on hours and hours and hours.
Yeah, but then
I think
So-
the coolest thing for me, sorry to interrupt, the coolest thing for me was when we started seeing like lakes and then there were mountains behind the lakes.
Yeah.
That was the coolest thing.
yeah, because you can obviously see like on the mountains. Then like once you're actually like on the level with the lake that's not like immediate forest, like you can actually look up and see what is surrounding you, which is literally just mountains at every angle.
Right. My brother was driving at the time, and there were a few moments that I was like, oh God, he's going to crash because he's looking at these too. I'm like, oh God, pay attention to the road. Pay attention, please. We want to get there in one piece.
We actually want to enjoy the Adirondacks instead of dying in them.
Just
but
dying in them.
It's
Can we
fine.
talk about how much it sucked? Since this wasn't part of the vlog, can we just talk about how much it sucked at the part of the road? So we were driving, we're really close to the location. My brother is still driving. There's a detour right, like I kid you not, like this is the worst situation in the world. A detour in our location where we were supposed to go, apparently. So we go through this detour, and then we find out that we have to go back in the direction where the detour was. So my brother ended up started to drive through it. It turned out we didn't have to go there in the first place, and our destination was probably a quarter mile in the other direction.
Yeah, and then it was funny when the detour actually got taken down. There was literally like, it looked like nothing was done to it besides
Yep.
like 5 paint marks.
There was not a lot.
but
Followed by a very bumpy road.
oh my god,
I'm surprised my tires survived that,
I'm proud of them.
and I'm really glad I don't have a really low car, because I probably would have been scratched and broke and bent to hell.
Yeah, you have been demolished.
So I'm glad
But
I
you-
drive an SUV.
SUV crew. Yeah. So, what was your favorite part?
I think my favorite part was when we finally got to the top of Blue Mountain. So that was the one with the fire tower, for anyone who watched the vlog. So you walk. What I actually got was I was editing it. When you're listening to this, I haven't edited the vlog completely yet. It's not live. But when I'm editing the vlog, you can actually see, because I still have the GoPro on, you can see myself walking up the stairs, and all of a sudden you can hear yourself going like, oh my god, like holy fucking shit, like you can hear that, like that
Yes.
reaction. I'm like, this is really cool. And what I love about the GoPro is it has this like fish angle like lens where you can capture like everything with one
So you know the
Yeah.
semicircle U.
Yep. So it was able to capture all of that. And it also captured me getting stuck for like 2 minutes.
I told you it was low.
It was low, and then my bag got snagged
Your
on something.
bag got stuck.
It's the bad part of being tall. You get snagged on everything. Bags get broken.
Average height.
But yeah, I think climbing on top of the fire tower was probably the coolest experience. And then just feeling that wind, because that was a hot day.
Yes.
Feel
the
that wind
gust.
when you hit the top of that mountain. You can hear it like echo through the entire thing. That was the coolest part.
That was probably one of my more enjoyable parts, just getting up to the top and then just like 360 degrees, just wind straight at your face. And I'm just
Yep.
like, this is what it's like to be
This is it.
like 3,500 feet above a mountain.
Yeah, like,
This is what we came here to do, and I'm proud of that. Honestly,
yes, yours.
I honestly like day 2. As much like random bullshit that went with it.
The 14-mile
Yeah.
one.
Cause like,
I was gonna say that one was the worst.
see, I don't know. Like
I have my reasons.
Okay. I have
Go
my
ahead.
reasons that I like it. Like, granted, did I enjoy that, like, literally none of the trails were marked at some points and, like, we couldn't actually, we just hit literally a rock wall? No, that wasn't fun. But, like, I don't know, I thought it was just kind of humbling in a sense and, like, a realization of just, like, yeah, like, we just did a 14-mile hike. Like, it was one of those like challenges for me that I'm just like, the reward at the end of it may not have been what we wanted, but like we still did it and we completed it. And I don't know, I thought it was really cool going into a cloud layer.
That was pretty cool. The only part was I reached a point where I was climbing up the mountain, and it was one of those kind of in near-death situations. Like, it wasn't that I was like going to die, but it was kind of like, oh, if I fell, I'm 100% dead.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like scary. I'm like, well, there's only 2 ways to go about this. Either I sit here and soak my ass in puddles and mud, or I climb up this mountain and I rest, and we climb back down, and we'll I have to face this. Like, it's like a facing kind of obstacle that I have to do. So it was more like that.
But you did it though.
But I did it, and I limped the entire way back.
Honestly,
I grabbed that walking stick. I had a walking stick with me, and I honestly, if I didn't have that walking stick, I probably would not have made it up the mountain.
one of the most impressive things out of that entire thing was the fact that you kept that walking stick up and down the mountain. And then literally threw it into the woods when you got down.
Through trees, that was up, escalated. That
yeah.
was like 60 degrees at times.
Yeah, it was up to the point where like I was climbing on my hands and like I was basically just climbing. And
Also, I have to say I'm really glad I brought I brought my biking gloves for that part. Because my hands would have been really, really muddy. I'm really happy I did that. I'm proud of myself just for that part.
I'm proud of myself for being prepared.
Worst part.
For me,
Yeah.
it seems like a cop out, but driving, honestly, like, not so much going there because I was still like uber excited, but like the drive coming home from Lake Placid to home was like, it wasn't one of the worst experiences of my life, but like it makes me realize how much I hate driving or like being in a car.
Because you're like, even in like if you're riding in like an airplane, like at a coach seat, you're like the first hour, you're like, this is fun. Like you're in an airplane, and all of a sudden you're like, shit, I have 8 more hours to go.
That's literally it. Like I learned that during my Australia flight. I'm just like, I can't sit in the same place for such a prolonged period of time.
It does suck.
Like I can do maybe like 4 before I start getting absolute batshit. But yeah, so how long did it take us? Like 7 hours to get back?
I have no idea.
Something like that. And I literally, like, I think it's also just like the lull coming off of the trip itself that you're just like, huh, that's over now. I don't want it to be over, but it is. So now what? Because it's literally just like, okay, this is over. I know it's over. Let's just go home.
Let's go home.
And then it's just like, oh, look, 6 hours left.
Keep on looking at your watch like every 5 minutes. Are we almost there yet? We're close.
Are we there yet?
Are we there? Okay, so getting to the campsite and then realizing that where we booked was an awful idea.
2.5 miles away from our car. It was another hike in itself to get to the original campsite.
To be fair, it looked a lot better in the photos than it did in real life.
I thought it was only 1.5. And they're just like, oh no, 2.5. I'm like, no.
That and the site was heavily wooded.
Yeah.
No space at all for tents, which is what we needed, even though we had another lean-to. They're just really isolated, like, honestly.
Well, that's the thing.
The view was nice, don't get me wrong, it was a spectacular view, but
It was, would you say, handsome?
it was unbelievable. Oh.
No.
That was the video of the trip.
That was the joke of the trip.
That was the joke of the trip, and then we got the song of the trip,
Which trees?
which is Trees by,
21 Pilots.
and then the video, the joke of the trip. Okay, let me explain this. I never seen. Have you ever seen? All right, if you ever seen One cartoons, Oni cartoons, the Harry Potter one,
Wingardium Leviosa.
Wingardium Leviosa, swish and flick the shitty one like this. Yeah. Oh, bridge. Let's go this way.
Okay, that's the original bridge.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, we just looped around.
Oh.
Ooh, bridge.
Ooh, bridge. Okay. But, so my brother and I had no idea what Justin was talking about the entire trip. And then Justin kept on going, that right there. He did that the entire trip. And we're like, what is he talking about? And we thought it was the funniest thing. And then I think it was like, was it third or fourth?
Third day, I think.
Third day, he was like, all right, let me just show you the video. So we watched the video. And I honestly laughed so hard that I cried. It was so freaking
And
funny.
you tried to be like, oh, I was just eating something. I didn't think it was going to be that funny. I'm like, nope, you were crying. It's that funny.
Because we repeated the whole time. You're like, now you know where the source was from.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God.
Well, Michael even told me, he's just like, part of me doesn't want to see it because I don't want it to like ruin what I think it is. But part of me really wants to see it. And I'm like, we're going to watch it.
We're doing this.
And what an experience it was.
Back to the, what was it?
Snap back to reality.
The loon. That was really cool at night. You just hear the loons like making noise. Like it's just,
Yeah.
it sounded like, at times, like at first I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then at times you're like, oh, that's creepy as hell. Like,
Yeah. Especially
here.
when it's just like 4 o'clock in the morning and all you just hear are the birds going crazy.
like in the middle of the night, you're like, where the frick is that? And what is that? And am I in danger? It's scary at night, honestly.
What the scary? No, I don't know. I was loving it though. Like
It was awesome though.
just being outside and listening to that.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I'm just talking about being away from like even to use the outhouse, you're like, oh, that's so far.
Yeah.
Like in the darkness, and you're like looking around like it's a murder movie. You're like,
I know.
where is it? Is anyone following me?
Here's a flashlight and another flashlight and a partner and
2 glow sticks. Didn't use the glow sticks.
Oh,
We
dang.
used them a few times.
Did we?
Still in my room, and they still work.
I don't remember using them.
I turned them on once. I'm like, I brought these goddamn glow sticks for no freaking reason. I might as well turn them on.
Oh. It's just like an out of precedence kind of thing.
Yeah, but when we got there and we kind of said, they're like, oh yeah, well, the guy basically said, like, super nice guy. He goes, yeah, we got a few locations. If you don't want to stay at the Loon, you have 2 other locations. Or was it 3 or 4?
Yeah.
They're like open, and we're like, okay. Like, we'll walk around, check them out. We get to the first location, which is Red Fox. Now that I know how to say it,
Red Fox.
when I went to request it, I said the red one.
Oh my god, I do remember that. We want the red one.
We want
What?
the red one. Oh, Red Fox.
Yeah, that one.
Yep. But yeah, we get to this location. It was like, wow. And I just looked at it. I'm like looking at the lake, and I look over to you guys. You're like,
Yeah.
yeah, let's get this one. I'm pretty sure we said that. We're like, yeah, we'll take this one.
It had just like a perfect view of the lake and also just really easy access to the water
Yeah,
and like a good place for like the hammock.
yeah. The hammock setup was perfect.
But no, I
We
mean,
ended up-
as much as we loved the Loon,
We ended up going to see it too, just to
Yeah.
see what it was and stuff. But
and then we did our memorial to Brian. We did our 21 gun salute.
yes, Brian, the unfortunate soul who could not make it on the trip.
Brian, if you're ever listening to this, we love you, buddy.
We're sorry. I hope both the video vlogs that you watch, if you do watch them, and the pictures, and then this podcast doesn't make you, regret breaking your leg.
Please don't hate us. We do this out of love.
Love you. Hearts. I think that's it.
Yeah, I think everything else is
Kind of in the video.
Yeah.
We'll link it down in the description if you haven't seen it already.
Yeah,
We'll link all 4 videos.
everything will be in the description.
Everything. Not that if this is on my channel, I don't know whose channel we're putting this on.
Yeah, I don't know.
Also, we're sorry that you can't really watch this without, I think we mentioned this at the beginning. You can't watch this without closing your phone.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. If you're watching this on YouTube and if you have an iPhone, I hope you have YouTube Red, because that would suck.
Once again, not sponsored by YouTube Red.
So just keep it on the side, put on a speaker. I guess this is too late because it's the end of the podcast. So we're kind of describing this to you now. You're like, I did this 40 minutes ago. What are you talking about,
For
Steve?
the next time,
For the next
just
podcast.
blast it through your house.
Blast it. The biggest speaker. I want you to go to a concert. You're saying, you know what? I need the speaker. You plug it in. You blast it. Hey, welcome to the podcast.
Or better yet, just
Bruh.
steal all of the speakers off stage,
Steal all of them.
including the pyrotechnics.
Jesus.
Just blast everything.
Blast it all. Blast this podcast to the world.
Bring it to your next block party.
Share it with a friend. Share it with a neighbor. This was only 23 minutes. Short podcast for today. We'll be making a longer one next time.
I feel good. We can start off small. It's okay.
What's a small It's just a beginning thing. If people enjoy it, there's a bunch of birds fighting. That's really interesting.
Are they fighting or having sex?
It could be both. We'll find out in the next video.
We'll find the babies.
So thank you for watching, thank you for listening and watching this random screen, whatever I put in front of here, I guess. And goodbye.
Bye.